It's a wonderful day today with you, attorney, apostle, political analyst,
Yes.
Mr. Nyasha Mapanzure.
Yes.
But I don't know, what should I really call you? Attorney, apostle, political analyst, and yeah. You?
Oh, I'm pretty much a bit of both. You can call me anything you're comfortable with.
Perfect. Yes, attorney. I'm very honored to have you on this platform that we have, and we've had a lot of questions coming in from Zimbabwe. You being based in South Africa, and being so much involved in what was going on in Zimbabwe in the past months, past years, and all that. Like I'm saying, I've got burning questions, and like I also said, it's a very great honor to have you on this platform, and I'm sure it's the same on your side as well.
Yes, I'm pretty honored to be here, and of course the issues that have been happening in Zimbabwe,
Yes.
the changes that have happened in Zimbabwe, what I've seen, what I've observed. It's quite an interesting topic to be talking about.
Perfect. Now, attorney, Mr. Nyasha Mapanzure, I have these questions. I don't know how you'd see them and how they would come to the ears of Zimbabweans, but I have one. The first one is, what do you think, or how do you see the overthrow of Mugabe in Zimbabwe? Was it something like a coup, or it was something which was planned? You can explain it.
Okay, yeah. Well, the overthrow of former president of Zimbabwe, Robert Gabriel Mugabe, was not a coup, as it is said by many people on the ground, because they followed what the Zimbabwean constitution says. The Zimbabwean constitution allows the army to get involved when it is clear that there is an unstable situation in the country, or something which can disturb the peace or the unity of the country is happening. So that's how we see the army getting involved and saying that the political party ZANU-PF was becoming disintegrated in such a way that it was now affecting the peace of the country and the day-to-day runnings of the country. This is how we see the army taking their trunks and their lorries and their boys into the city center of Harare in particular, and saying that it was not a coup, but it was just a temporary military takeover in what they dubbed restoration legacy.
Yes, but now that you mentioned something that really moved me, and I'm really trying to see what really happened in the country, because now we see the army. You said the army has the right to come in and prevent certain happenings in the government,
yes.
And the army has the right to, because it was written in the constitution.
Yes.
Now we see that I don't know if our time will allow, but I have another question, personal question. Now with Mugabe being how can I put this? We saw Zimbabwe voting and agreeing to the constitution. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Now that the whole nation voted for the constitution, now I've heard lots of people, people in Zimbabwe, some say we didn't vote, some say we didn't even know the constitution and all that. But the Mugabe, did he draft down the constitution? Was it part of him? Or
well, I mean, the constitution exercise
to benefit him? I don't know. Yes, my question is, was the constitution benefiting Mugabe?
Well, the constitution exercise was a very well covered exercise which involved all stakeholders. Everybody was involved, everybody was aware of the drafting of the new constitution. The MDC played a part, all parties played a part in the drafting of the new constitution. Whereas, should you say that they did support or did it in any way protect Robert Mugabe? No,
yes.
We can actually see it now that the very constitution that he was also part of is the very constitution that has caused his removal from power.
Okay, I think that has been explained, and we'll come in more with more questions. But my second question is that now with the coming in of President Emmerson Mnangagwa as the president. Don't you think this is just an extension of the ZANU-PF government?
Well, I mean, it still is ZANU-PF which is in control. Yes. What maybe you were trying to say, is it the extension of Robert Mugabe? Well, these are two different people. Yes, we know that Emmerson Mnangagwa was Robert Mugabe, or has been Robert Mugabe's right-hand man for many years. And he's been his right-hand lieutenant. But that does not mean that he does not have his own ideas as a person. We've already seen, since him coming to power, yes, a lot of ideas which he's developing, ideas which he had even when Mugabe was around, but he could not take them out because Mugabe was the leader and was the one in control. But as of now, he's able now to exercise his beliefs, and his beliefs seem to be pro-democracy, pro-Zimbabwe, pro-economic, and I'm very pleased as a person to see him implementing this thing during our times. And he could not have done it during Robert Mugabe's time, because Robert Mugabe would not allow it. But now he can actually implement these things, and we believe that it is a change from Robert Mugabe's brains. We are no longer using the brains of Robert Mugabe. He's now using his own brains. And he seems now to be a person who's interested in getting views and ideas from the general public. He's always asking the public, what should I do? And he's always reacting to what the public wants, because he says the voice of the people is the voice of God.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful. But, Attorney, there's this question that I was moving around. This man asked me, we were talking. He said, now, Mugabe and Mnangagwa because my question is, aren't they trying to keep on having the name ZANU-PF in the board? All that happened, him and all that, Mugabe can be on the bad name side, but the ZANU-PF name being the ruling party for all and all. Because now we see, with the upcoming elections, do you think another party is going to take part, is going to win, or is going to have many votes, or is just going to be Mnangagwa and the ZANU-PF moving on?
Well, if you are saying if it was a strategy on ZANU-PF, yes, to overthrow Robert Mugabe and to then give a rebirth of the party, well, that would have been a good idea, but I don't think that was the thing that went on the ground. But your question of whether ZANU-PF should continue being the party which is ruling, well, if the people vote for ZANU-PF, if the people vote for the policies of Emmerson Mnangagwa, which I believe are good policies, and which are the same policies which the opposition wanted to put into Zimbabwean political system, now that they've been put in by Emmerson Mnangagwa, it becomes a very difficult political ground for the opposition to play, because the opposition slogan was Mugabe must go. We want change. Now change has come. People are seeing change. So the slogan is gone. What next after the change issue? Change is coming, and the economy is being built again. So now, is it a question of removing ZANU-PF from power or what? ZANU-PF is, mind you, a revolutionary party which brought independence to Zimbabwe, and many Zimbabweans should honor that. What Zimbabweans are worried about is bread issues. What Zimbabweans are worried about is food issues. So is Emmerson Mnangagwa going to address food issues? Yes, he's saying he's going to address them. Is he addressing them? Yes, he's addressing them. If people then begin to like ZANU-PF because of that, well, thumbs up to ZANU-PF.
Perfect. I'm glad you really answered me very well on that question. We'll hear from the views of what the people say. But now also there's another question about we've seen Emmerson Mnangagwa coming into office, being the president, and the whole nation being proud of him, excited that he pretty much, some say Agat Sunungura and all that kind of stuff. But another question is that, don't you think, because we recently, Mnangagwa appointed a new cabinet. What do you think, what's your take on that cabinet? Isn't it just a replica of Mugabe's own cabinet?
Well, it is, to a certain extent, the same cabinet which Robert Mugabe was using. But mind you, you have to look at what the Constitution says. The Constitution of Zimbabwe only allows that if you are a member of parliament, that is how you can be then elected into becoming a minister. And the president has got only 5 people he can choose who are not members of parliament. So his choices were limited to the people who Mugabe was using. So there's no other place where you could have got any other new guys to come in. He had to choose what I would dub the best from the bed. But he is saying that he can work with these guys, and he has told these guys that it is time to work, it is time to stay alert, no more laziness, it is time to work hard, no more corruption, any corruption, straight to jail.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I think that also has been really taken on. But, there's this other thing that I've been looking at. It says, okay, you explained, I get you, Attorney, but now also, has this cabinet, or do you think anything has changed ever since Mnangagwa came into office?
Well, of course, a lot has changed. Number one, the ministers have been cut. It's now 22. There were more ministers in Robert Mugabe's time, but Emmerson Mnangagwa trimmed them into 22 ministries, which is a very good thing. He joined some other ministries, which were for some reason why Mugabe made them into 2 different ministries when they did the same job. You wonder why. Yeah. But that is a change.
Is it because of corruption and all that?
Yes, I mean, because he had to make sure that his lieutenants, his supporters get something, get a piece of the pie, because they would say, oh no, I also want to eat. This one says, I also want to eat. So he was forced to create ministries which were not necessary. But now with Emmerson Mnangagwa, we are seeing him creating ministries that are necessary, that should be responsible for a thing which encompasses a whole lot of genres of departments of things, which is very commendable. And of course the budget, which Minister Chinamasa came with, it brought in new things, new ideas. The issue of indigenization, save for 2 minerals, which are platinum and diamonds, which we are still, as Zimbabweans, still to learn more about. How much diamonds do we have? It's something that we can just open up to the world to come. We still need to understand it more. So that one still has the 49% for indigenous people, and then the private get 49. But it is now open the rest of the minerals to the people who want to invest in Zimbabwe. Any mineral, chrome, asbestos, anyone can come to invest in Zimbabwe. That creates investor confidence, that it creates more investment coming to Zimbabwe. That is very commendable.
Wow. That's, I think, that's very wonderful, wonderfully said. There's another question that I'm having, because I'm actually taking these questions, and we're going to have the views from the people, what they think about it, and you know what I mean. But now, there's another question about the land compensation. What's your take on that land compensation? Do you think they're going to be fully returned to the white farmers, or it's...
Well, the land issue is, however, a very sensitive issue, yes. But it is an issue which cannot be reversed to say that black people should be removed from the land. Land was primarily belonging to the black people.
But to cut you there, I'm very sorry. The land, when it was happening, I don't know if I'm right, you can correct me there. The land, when it was being taken, some of the white people would see from the comments, the land was taken by force from the white farmers who had the land in a legal way. Well, but it was now taken illegally.
Well, I mean, it's politics, because it starts from way when the British came into Zimbabwe, and Rhodes and these guys took land forcibly from the black people. And then came the time of the Smith regime, and towards its end they went to the Lancaster House Constitution, whereby they said that they knew that the land issue had to be addressed, and that at one time the land had to be returned back to the black people, and the white people had to be compensated by the British government. That was the agreement that had been made with the Thatcher government at that time. But nothing happened, and people had now no choice but to go to the farms and grab the land in the manner they did. Was it right? No. Was it good? No. Nothing can be good about violence.
Yes.
But the question which I want to really look into right now is are the white people going to be compensated? Yes. Do we still need...
That is the main question, because we have lots of white people that went back to Great Britain, foreign lands.
Yes.
Some of them even still have the the scars in them.
Yes, President Emmerson Mnangagwa said that he is going to be with his government. They are going to compensate white farmers. Those who lost land are going to be compensated. And we also are going to be seeing a lot of white farmers, a lot of white Zimbabweans who can farm, coming also into farming. This is the thing which this new government is looking into, which is very commendable, which I believe should have been done from the beginning.
No, thank you very much on that take. And I think one of my second of two last questions are: on that case of the white farmers and all that, do you think Mugabe did a mistake taking land because you mentioned the Lancaster House conference and the agreements that had been done for land compensation and that, but I'm on this question that to those other white farmers and white people that had their property taken away from them in a very forceful manner, some of them were harassed, some of them were injured by Mugabe's people.
Well, I mean, nobody can commend violence. Nobody can say violence is good. Violence is bad. The way it was done, it was bad for Zimbabwe. It was bad even for Robert Mugabe. It was bad for Zimbabwe. And it was bad for the white families who lost lives. It can never be commendable. Yes. But however, as bad as it is time to move on. It is time to say, yes, let bygones be bygones. Yes. Let's try and heal this land. Let's try and say, let's move on with a new Zimbabwean. I feel sorry for the white people who really lost their lives, but I believe that they can come back and we can work again as Zimbabweans.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, and my last question to you, Attorney, is that what do you see for the future of Zimbabwe? What do you see Zimbabwe achieving economically, and with the newly appointed president saying that Zimbabwe is 16 years behind? What do you think? What's your take on that one?
The future of Zimbabwe looks very bright. Yes. With the way that Emmerson Mnangagwa has started and with the way that he's implementing his things. You should have seen him when he came here in South Africa, at Pretoria, at the Zimbabwean embassy. There were tens of thousands. I believe
you were there too?
I was there. There were tens of thousands of Zimbabweans ululating. Everyone was hero worshiping Emmerson Mnangagwa as he came onto the podium, and it was very exciting that it was not only ululating that people were doing. People wanted him to deliver, and he has already started to deliver. So far, we've had him giving some Zimbabwean businessmen, together with some support of foreign business people, a tender of about $400 for railway, which is actually going to
$400
400 million, sorry.
Yes.
400 million US dollars, which is actually going to be starting very shortly in Zimbabwe, and that is going to create employment. That is going to create investment in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
The railway project, and he has said there are more tenders that need Zimbabweans. He says rail, roads, and mining. He said anyone who wants to invest should come to Zimbabwe, should come and invest. These are open tenders. Anyone who believes that they can work and they can bid for this should come and bid for them, and will give them. You said Zimbabwe is 16 years behind other countries. Yes, it's true that Zimbabwe is 16 years behind other countries, but His Excellency said we will pursue them and we will overtake them. This now reminds me, I'm an apostle also, of 1 Samuel 30 verse 8. David inquires of the Lord and says, shall I pursue? Shall I overtake? And the Lord replies him and he says, surely you shall pursue. Surely you shall overtake. And he goes on to say, and you shall not fail, you shall recover all. So Zimbabwe is on that ground of going to pursue and recover everything that it has lost. So I think we are on a good start, and we are on the ground running, like the president said.
Wonderful. I'm glad you're supporting the new government, the new president, and the new Zimbabwean system. Yeah. And I think it was a wonderful interview with you, Attorney. It was a great chat, and I believe lots of our viewers at home and online from everywhere around the world, would want to see what's their take on what you have said,
okay,
and We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.